game yesterday for him as Ross swings at the first pitch and pops it up to the right side. Blake Burke backtracks in foul ground. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the first inning. We mentioned Andrew Fisher and what he did yesterday. He'll step in now. And this guy has been electric since joining the Rebels. Nothing new. We knew what he was capable of as a freshman All-American at Duke, but he's taken it up a notch now.
This will be a very interesting matchup right here. Sechrist is excellent against left-handed power hitters with that changeup. He'll throw it left on left, and I think they'll go soft a lot today. Starts him off with a fastball first pitch.
Strike 1 on Fisher, who is 4 for 7 in the series. Couple of multi-hit games, including 2 homers last night. Tapped foul, 0-2. Home plate umpire, by the way, Brandon Cooper. Ray Gregson at first, Danny Cricks at second. Derek Malika is at third. Sechrist has what he wants in 0-2. And tipped into the glove of Cannon Peebles.
Very interesting right there. They flipped the script. Probably saying, hey, I hit 2 home runs on fastballs yesterday. I'm going to sit soft. What does Tennessee do? They throw him 3 upper 80s fastballs, 85, 86, 88. Strikeout.
That's the chess match you always love to see. First pitch misses to Ethan Leger. You can see his numbers coming in. 1 for 6 in the series. Only hit was a single in the 6th yesterday. Hits one sharply towards short on a deep hop for Curley, and his throw sails near the Tennessee dugout, and they will award Leger second base. So it was a long throw, but that's one normally Curley puts on the button.
Sometimes when you back up on a ball like that, you really got to plant your right foot, which is your foot that you drive off of in the turf, and you got to throw downhill. The longer the throw, the fundamental is this, the longer the throw, the more down angle is required. Does that make sense? The shorter the throw, the more up angle. So using the turf in that situation would be a good idea too.
Well, we saw a wild play yesterday from Ole Miss's infields as Groff takes ball 1. Remember a sequence in the 7th inning where they tried to turn 2 and one went away into the Tennessee dugout as well. So both of these teams haven't been immune to errors this season or in this series. Groff, meanwhile, waiting on a 1-0 pitch. And he pops it up. Very shallow right center. Moore backtracks, Tears calls him off. Guy who is capable. He had 3 scoreless outings prior to that one. Lineup for Tennessee looks as such. Moore, Burke, Amick still at the top. Kavares, Tears 4 for 7 in the series. That includes a 3 for 3 day in the opener on Friday with a homer. Villeneuve and Ensley and Curley have also homered in the series. First pitch in there for a strike at 84 to Christian Moore.
Slider right off the bat. 0-0.
Moore bounces it off his leg at home plate, and it is 0-2. Enters today at 366.
Great execution on those first 2 pitches. A breaking ball to start the game, and then a fastball down and in on Moore.
0-2. Ran it up and in, and Moore went around. Couldn't hold up, and a strikeout for Sonia to start his out.
Outstanding sequence right there. You go fastball up and in. Very difficult pitch to swing at, obviously. He's trying to kind of get out of the way, but his barrel went in front of the plate. What a sequence.
Well, he came in with 17 strikeouts against 9 walks in 22 innings. Fouled off by Blake Burke, but you've said his stuff plays up. He certainly has a lot of ability to strike guys out.
No question. I mean, it's a quality arm, big physical guy.
He struck out 52 last year in 46 innings. Blake Burke, meanwhile, Lines one down the left field line, a base hit. It will roll to the wall. Burke will dig for second base. Throw comes in late, and a stand-up, one-out double for Burke to get the Vols going in the home half of the first.
Professional, mature approach right there. On top of the fastball to the backside. We've seen Burke this weekend go line to line. He can pull the ball and go backside. Look where this pitch is at. Belt high, stays on top, drives it down the left field line for a double.
And his hitting streak moves to 15 consecutive games. It's a good way to get it started, take the pressure off right away in the first inning. Over the course of that hitting streak, by the way, he's hitting about .430. That was his 10th double over those 15 games. Billy Amick now. Ball one. Saunier, not a guy who's allowed a ton of extra base hits. Just the 5th one he's given up. Amick 1 for 7 in the series. 2-0. His only hit was a single in the 7th inning last night. And he is .276 this year with runners in scoring position on a Tennessee team that thrives with situational hitting. That's something we've talked about all series long, and that was a big difference game 1 to game 2. Ole Miss was able to limit that pitching-wise in the second game.
No doubt. Interesting right there on 2-0. Fastball. Go breaking ball, and fastball on 2-0. Thinking Amick's looking soft again.
2-1. And a swing and a miss. 92 down in the zone, 2-2.
Well located fastball in the inner half.
Amick cuts and misses. Second strikeout and 3 batters faced for Grayson Saunier, 2 away in the first.
Well executed fastball again in. Just pounding the fastball in. So we talked about it all weekend. You want to throw to an L. Draw a little L, big L actually, down the body of a hitter and then out the strike zone. So you want the ball down in the way, obviously, and you want it tight to the body if you throw in.
Kavares Tears now. Takes ball 1.
And so far, Saunier is doing a really good job of that with the right-handed hitters. Burke, he let a ball outside the L, up and out, and made him pay for a double to the backside.
Tears takes downstairs, 2-0. We were talking about this before the game. Saunier, you look at his numbers across the board. He is much improved. Not just the ERA, which has gone from right around 7 down to about 4, but opponents went from hitting .290 last year against him to .247 this year. 2-0, that's hammered. Deep right center field, forget about it. Tennessee leads. A moonshot for Kavares Tears. Second of the series and his 8th in 2024.
So you'll see this on the replay. Saunier's doing a really good job arm side with righties going in, but he's not locating the ball as well to left-handed hitters. The ball's leaking out over the plate, and it's belt high, and those go a long way. They're middle, belt high at 109 miles an hour on the exit velo.
He absolutely obliterated that one. His second home run of the weekend. Pitch misses to Dylan Dreiling. It's his 8th home run in 76 at-bats this year. He hit 2 in 56 at-bats all last year. Popped up left fields. Leger settles under and makes the catch. Side retired, but the Vols of Josh Elander, who has experience doing it, but that certainly is something worth noting as Sechrist misses to Trayson Hughes to start off the second. We started yesterday talking about all that Frank Anderson does, and you can see the number change from 2019 and 2024 and what they've done over the years. How does this switch things now for Elander calling the balls and strikes? How does it change things for Tennessee today specifically?
Well, I think they had a lot more preparation this morning as a staff. They met, obviously, and the game plan is in play. Whereas yesterday, you know, you're a little surprised of exactly, you know, what you're going to be doing as a coach. Coach Elander thought he's coaching third base, coaching the hitters, and all of a sudden he's coaching third base, the hitters, and the pitchers.
1-2 on Trayson Hughes. And Sechrist misses down and in.
They'll have a game plan today, ready to go. It's all scripted, mapped out. You know Coach A is heavily involved before the game.
2-2 from Sechrist. That did not miss by much.
87, maybe a couple inches off the plate. Well executed pitch.
Hughes is 1 for 6 in the series. He did have that RBI ground out in the 9th last night. Payoff pitch. We'll do it again.
Interesting so far in this game. Sechrist throwing a lot of fastballs. Well executed, down and away. Fastballs into righties. Doing a really good job with this four-seam fastball.
Another payoff pitch to Hughes. Swing and a miss. And the second strikeout for Xander Sechrist. He pulled the string to perfection that time.
It's a breaking ball, 72 miles an hour, left on left, really good pitch.
Second strikeout today, 23rd of the year. Luke Hill digs in. And he shoots one out to center fields. And Inslee's got to play it on a hop. So Luke Hill's got himself a base hit. The first hit today for Ole Miss.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 8, Bo Gatlin.
So Hill aboard. Second hit of the series for him. And now Bo Gatlin. First start for him in the series. And a check to first base. Gatlin getting his 6th start of the season. And I mean, why not when you're hitting 368 and 19 at bats? He's got 7 hits with a homer. Senior from Oxford, Mississippi.
They're going to have to do a good job right here. Hill is one of the top runners for the Rebs.
He's 8 for 9. He actually got caught stealing for the first time by Cannon Peebles on Friday. That was in the 6th inning. There's a strike from Xander Sechrist. So one thing I did want to ask you, you look at Sechrist's numbers. 4 runners have tried to steal him this year. 3 have been caught. He's picked off a couple. Why is he so good as far as holding runners and also not allowing them to steal?
He has an excellent move, so you're not quite sure what the read is, if he's going to pick or if he's going to pitch. The runner has to hesitate. He also varies his times. He's a mess with timing guy on the running game and with the hitters. You'll watch his leg lift go up quick, sometimes slow. He'll read the runner, then he'll pitch. Very, very good at holding the running game.
It'll be an 0-2 to Gatlin. Right down the middle, called strike 3. A second strikeout in the inning, 3rd of the day for Xander Sechrist.
And you saw that one right there. He didn't hold the baseball at all. He kind of got to his set position and then quickly delivered a strike before the runner was even ready to do anything, or the hitter.
So 2 away for Reagan Burford. He gets his first start of the series and his 14th in 2024. Strike 1. He's locating all the pitches pretty well early on.
Doing a really good job of varying his tempo for the running game and kind of quick pitching the hitters a few times, and then the location of his fastball has been elite.
There's that move to first base. What makes a good pickoff move for a pitcher? I've always wondered this.
For a lefty, it's almost like you have to be looking at a mirror, and you don't know whether or not he's delivering the ball to the plate or he's picking. And if you can just basically mirror the delivery for both ways, either throwing the ball to first base or home plate, it's going to be very difficult. You're looking at it and you're like, what is he doing? You don't know. It all looks the same, and then he throws the ball to the plate.
Burford takes outside.
On the other hand, if you have a bad move, there's a big distinction between his delivery to the plate and his picks. And those guys are super easy to read.
Ole Miss is a team this year, we've talked about it all series long, 34 for 38 stealing. And Hill is the best they have, actually second best they have, because Ethan Groff is 9 for 9. He's 8 for 9, caught for the first time again on Friday. Nothing new under Mike Bianco. They always want to try to run. 1-1 to Burford. Swing and a miss. 88 down and away.
Really good arm side movement right there, meaning the ball is moving away from the right-handed hitter. A lot of lefties will show you that good arm side run. Sechrist just did right there.
They're into it early on a Sunday in Knoxville. 1-2. Well, they have filled it up here, as they often do at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Tennessee took its first home loss of the season last night. Had won 18 straight at home, the third longest home win streak in the country. Trying to take the series today. Another move to first base. I don't think any pitcher in this series has thrown over to first as much as he has in this at-bat.
Well, they're doing a really good job of making sure Hill stays in first base. They do not want him in scoring position.
Burford shoots it up the middle. That's a base hit in the center fields. So a couple of hits in the inning. And now with 2 outs, the inning continues for Campbell Smithwick.
Two-strike hitting, didn't try to do too much. We call that TTM. Your chest stays on the ball, stays on the plate. Just drive the ball through the middle of the field.
That's only his 9th hit in 42 at-bats this season. And now Smithwick. Takes inside. You know, it's interesting. You look at the numbers for Sechrist. He actually has kind of reverse splits against lefties and righties. We were discussing this before his start, too. Lefties hit him significantly better than righties.
And that's very common for a fastball changeup guy. His best secondary pitch is a changeup. So think about it. The changeup's going to run arm side, just like an arm side fastball, and it runs back toward the left-handed hitter, so you stay on the ball a little bit longer. You're actually helping it run into your barrel.
2-0. Took something off that one. Well, normally, you know, you think, oh, bring in a lefty to get the lefty-on-lefty matchup and create it. But more and more nowadays, there are left-handed pitchers who do better against right-handed hitters.
That's right.
To your point.
It's called the reverse splits.
2-1. That's hammered. Into center field, a base hit. Hill gets the wave around third. He'll score. To third base goes Burford. Ball gets away in the infield. Throw to second base, and they got him. So Amick to Curley to finish off the threat. But Ole Miss does tack on one. And Robin Villeneuve cuts and misses. So that's a situation where he made a couple mistakes.
No doubt.
Leaving the ball out over a guy who can absolutely smash the baseball when he gets a good look.
Yeah, he's been on fire this weekend.
Villeneuve takes a strike. 6-7-8 here for Tennessee. Ole Miss did get one back in the top of the second. Could have maybe been a bigger inning, but Smithwick was caught trying to advance after his RBI single to second base.
Just trying to do a little too much right there. Just stay first and third and have a chance for more RBIs, but It is what it is. Big hit, though, for Ole Miss. Huge hit.
Yeah, Smithwick knocking in just his 7th run of the season. Another talented freshman. A couple freshmen in the lineup for them today. 1-2. Cut on and missed. And a 3rd strikeout for Grayson Saunier in 6 batters faced.
Saunier is doing an outstanding job arm side in on right-handed hitters. Watch this pitch, perfectly located on the inner half. Very difficult to keep fair if you do barrel it. All 3 strikeouts that he has against right-handed hitters have been in.
Hunter Ensley now had a great day at the plate yesterday. He takes up and in. Redshirt junior from Huntington, Tennessee, who yesterday was 2 for 4. A 2-run blast in the 2nd, a double in the 9th. That double in the 9th, by the way, was with 2 strikes and 2 outs, kept Tennessee alive. They actually brought the possible tying run to the plate because of his rally. One from Saunier.
You see a pattern so far. Mike Bianco is pitching Tennessee in a lot today.
Ensley pops it up to shallow right.
Went in again.
Hughes puts it away for out number 2.
So this is a big saying in baseball. Pitch in to win. Pitch in to win. And when you execute in, you got a very good chance to win a baseball game.
Well, that was a lot of what Liam Doyle was doing yesterday for Ole Miss when he struck out 10. So 2 down for Cannon Peebles. Bats 8th today. And he pops up the first pitch. They were shifted over, so the second baseman Burford goes back. The center fielder Groff will take it, and the side is retired. And quick 1-2, allowed 1 earned run entering today over his last 3 starts. He did allow a run in the top of the 2nd inning.
Doing an excellent job with his fastball today. Both pitchers are locating their fastballs at an elite pace so far in this game. Very impressive.
Jackson Ross rolls one over towards short. Dean Curley. And it's dug out at first by Blake Burke. Boy, he has scooped up a bunch. Call him the ice cream man.
Burke is smooth over there. He's very good at picking the baseball at first base.
He's had 4 or 5 picks like that in the series. And saved a bunch of possible errors. Really, we talk about his bat and all he's done, and yeah, he's tied for 3rd all-time in home runs in Tennessee, but he really has become a terrific defensive first baseman. Andrew Fisher takes outside. It reminds you a little bit of the guy who he's tied with in home runs, Todd Helton.
No doubt. That's a pretty good one.
Guy was a pretty good first baseman, too.
Not bad.
Andrew Fisher struck out his first time. He has been a tough out to get in this series. Entered 4 for 7, so he's now 4 for 8. A multi-home run game yesterday for the freshman All-American a season ago at Duke. On a 2-0, and now 3-0.
Dangerous hitter right here. Dangerous hitter. Tennessee knows that.
Now, he does not hit well against
very
lefties.
careful.
And he's 4 for 26 against lefties partners. So they shift over 3 on 3-0, and there's a strike.
Probably a big reason why Sechrist started this game, to neutralize Fisher. He's been so hot. Show him a left-hander.
3-1. And that misses for ball 4. So Fisher is aboard. And he reaches for the 7th time in 11 plate appearances in the series. So a walk from Sechrist. A very rare one at that. That's only his 4th walk of the season. Ethan Leger pops it foul. Leger singled his first time. The throw from Curley got away. He ended up advancing to second base. Third error in the series on Tennessee. And a check to first base on Andrew Fisher. He's only stolen one base so far this season. He's only stolen 2 in his career if you include his freshman season at Duke. 0-1 to Leger. And he chased one there.
Outstanding changeup.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away in the top of the third. Sechrist ready, and he deals to Leger. Ball 1.
Back and forth, changeup, fastball, changeup, fastball. 88-mile-an-hour fastball, 77-mile-per-hour changeup.
Fisher off first with 1 out in the third. That's hit sharply into left center and a base hit. Ensley will go over to cut it off. And it's first and second with just 1 out for Ole Miss. Milwaukee high school history. He comes on in a big spot to face Ethan Groff. First and second with 1 out. So tying and go-ahead runners aboard for the Rebs here in the third.
That's a 91-mile-an-hour slider. 0-0.
It is true, potentially first-round stuff. Can he put it all together today? 1-0. It's down and away. Now against Alabama, he came on in the bottom part of the third inning with runners on first and second base and 1 out. He allowed a couple runs to score. He allowed a solo homer in the fourth. Then he retired 14 of 18 batters. 2-0 to Groff. Is in there for a strike. And then, of course, Alabama gets the eventual game-winning 3-run homer off him in the bottom part of the 8th. So you certainly know the potential is there, and he makes that mistake, allowing a couple home runs. Those are the first 2 home runs he'd allowed all season last week. 2-1. And now 3-1. In danger of loading him up with just 1 out for Ole Miss.
Fastball's averaging 97 to 98 miles an hour with a 91-mile-an-hour slider. Now,
got to get over the
zone
plate.
is the key. Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. Got to throw it over that little white house.
Groff pops it up. Right side foul ground. Burke drifting near fair territory, and he's got it. And quickly tosses over towards third base. 2 away. That's a big second out.
98-mile-per-hour fastball. Little challenge fastball right there up in the strike zone. Outstanding pitch.
So now Trayson Hughes. First and second, and 2 outs. Fouled away. Ole Miss yesterday was 1 for 10 with 2 outs. Tennessee, it wasn't much better, 2 for 10. They've combined in this series, Ole Miss has to go 3 for 18 with 2 outs. 1-1.
Sitting at 98.
It's impressive. It's gas for sure. Hughes chops it slowly. Tough play at third for Amick. Bare hands, throws, not in time. It was always going to be a very tough play. Hit very softly down the line, and they are loaded up with 2 outs for Ole Miss. The base is loaded. Big spot for Luke Hill. Swing and a miss at 97. That's one of his softer ones.
Yeah.
Nice casual 97. Luke Hill singled his first time and scored the only run for Ole Miss. Crowd didn't love that one. 1-1.
That's hard to. That ball looked like it was right there. Interesting.
1-1 to Hill. Chopper towards short. Curley tosses to a covering Moore. And a good job from Snead to wiggle out of a bases-loaded jam. 2-1.
SEC Sunday rubber match.
Dean Curley fouls off the first pitch. Well, these are two programs that have had a bunch of success. Ole Miss is off a down season last year. They won 25 games, the fewest in Mike Bianco's 23 years at the time, now in year 24. But they won a national title just 2 years ago. And then, of course, Tennessee has been to 2 of the last 3 College World Series. That's one hammered to left. And no choice for Leger but to play it on a hop. Dean Curley swinging a good bat this weekend. And he is aboard to start off the third.
Ball was elevated a little bit, up in the zone. Good swing.
True freshman coming into his own. So leadoff man aboard for Tennessee. Last night, amazingly, the two teams combined to get the leadoff man on just once each. So 2 total times, and have 18 tries. Pitch misses to Christian Moore, top of the order for Tennessee here in the third now. Grayson Saunier worked a 1-2-3 second after allowing the 2-run homer to Kavaris Tears in the first. He struck out Moore his first time. 1-0. That's hammered out to right. Drifting back is Hughes. Track, wall, goodbye. Christian Moore has done it again. His 3rd home run of the series. And number 37 on his career. He continues to climb the Vols all-time list. And Tennessee's up 4-1.
What a hitter. Simo is the real deal. He can pull a ball 400 plus feet, and he can go backside down the right field line. His approach is amazing. Fast twitch, power, short swing. Man, what a great player.
It was only 94 off the bat, but you get it up in the air with the way the wind has been blowing all weekend, partner, out to right, and that ball's going to go.
Yeah, really good backswing, backspun. Just tremendous hit.
So he is now closing in on Blake Burke. We were joking with Tony Vitello. It feels sort of like the Maris and Mantle home run chase when you have both of them trying to get to the top, and Luke Lipsius. This one popped foul. And nice catch made and foul ground by Andrew Fisher for the first out. But, you know, Burke came into the weekend sitting on 38 home runs. Moore was at 34, and all of a sudden he's only one back, and the record is 40. He's closing it on.
Yeah, it's a home run derby between those guys, and you have some great players, some great alums that they're trying to beat out, basically, in the record book.
So Moore now is in 5th on the home run list, but again, his next one would move him into a tie for 3rd with Blake Burke and Todd Helton. It's amazing to think about. Billy Amick cuts and misses. So meanwhile, Saunier has now allowed a couple of 2-run homers. He had allowed 1 home run in his first 22 innings of work this season. Misses to Amick. 2-1. Amick struck out his first time. On a 2-1, he cuts and misses. 91 upstairs.
That ball up in the zone. Billy Amick has been having some tough at-bats, swinging underneath that ball. Needs to get a little flatter, get on top. Ole Miss has been pounding him at the belt and above.
2-2. Good take there. Now, one of the telltale signs is often in offense how much they're walking and their plate discipline. Tennessee offense last night walked just 4 times. They've already drawn the first walk today now, as Amick will reach first base.
That's a good AB right there. It's a good AB right there.
I was going to mention they walked 7 times on Friday. So Saulnier's first walk. And now one out for Kavares Tears, the man at first base. And we already know what he did earlier today. A 2-run bomb to right center in the first inning.
He's been seeing the ball well all weekend.
Oh, it has been impressive to watch. Down low for ball 1. Again, he hit 2 home runs as a true freshman, actually as a redshirt freshman last year. In 29 games, 56 at-bats. He is already now up to 8 homers. He pops that one. Silly what this guy's capable of. 3 infielders on the right side for him. And he hits that one sharply foul. Well, that was about 100 off the bat, too.
But you're talking, these are BB Core bats, just so you know. They changed the bats, I don't know, a decade ago, where they tried to slow down the exit speed because they were getting in the 120 range, and that's dangerous.
Yeah.
These actually have governors on them, like NASCAR governors, you know, they won't go over like 300 miles an hour in a race car.
1-2. That's a slow roller. This is going to be a brutally tough play at short for Hill. There's no play. It worked out to perfection. 3 infielders on the right. No chance off the end of the bat. A little squibber. And now it's first and second. Still just 1 out here in the third for the Vols.
Baseball still amazes me after, what, 4 years of playing and 35 years, almost 40 years of seeing it. You can hit a ball 100 miles plus, right? And then you hit a ball probably 40 miles an hour, and you still get a hit. You just never know what's going to happen on a baseball field.
Like a cue shot and pull that time.
Absolutely.
And that weird spin to it. Well, that's how you beat the shift, right? You got 3 on the right, find a way to get it on the other side of the infield.
And here's the crazy thing: he's early, so the ball's going to be pulled. The only reason it wasn't, it went right off the end of the bat.
Right. Dylan Dreiling looks at strike 1.
It wasn't like he was trying to go backside and beat the shift. He was still in pull mode, but it hit it off the cap, and it cue shot it, as you said, out to Hill at short.
Guess what? None of that goes down in the scorecard. Base hit regardless. Dreiling takes up high. He popped out to left his first time. So a Vols offense that produced 5 total runs yesterday in an 8-5 loss on 6 hits. They've got 4 runs on 5 hits already. And this one is drilled deep right field. Forget it. Way gone. Oh, he absolutely obliterated that one. Dylan Dreiling teed off and demolished it. 8th home run for him. 3rd of the game for Tennessee. And it's 7-1.
Change up. Slider works more like a cutter, and it's an easy 90-94.
He misses to Hunter Ensley. There's a strike at 92. Well, we have seen some impressive lefties in this series. Of course, Liam Doyle yesterday, what he did was nothing short of sensational. 10 strikeouts over his dominant work in 6 innings. Mendez with 19 strikeouts against 7 walks so far this year. So he's striking out about 14.5 per 9.
And there's nothing wrong with his stuff. Now, 7 walks in 11 in the 3rd innings, okay? So throwing it in there, not at the highest clip. His stuff plays if it gets in the strike zone at 90-94 from the left side.
1-1. And now 2-1.
Ole Miss is very high on this young man. You can see why. 92, 93, touches 94 so far in this game. Impressive talent.
2-1. That's hammered out to left center fields. Windle hold it up though, and Groff settles under to make the catch. But a big 3rd inning for Tennessee. They put a spot in the home half of the 3rd, courtesy of a couple more homers for the Vols. who have hit 3 today and 9 this weekend. Nothing new for a team that came in with a bunch of them entering the series. There's a swing and a miss for Bo Gatlin. Nate Snead back to work. He took over for Xander Sechrist and got the final out last inning. Popped foul.
Great arm, 96 to 98. And we're seeing some talent right here on Sunday in the SEC.
Snead's got what he wants. 0-2 to Gatlin. Swing and a miss. Only 90 that time. Took something off it. First strikeout for him.
That's a little cutter slider, a little wrinkle right there at 90.
Now batting the second base, Burford.
Watch this ball just cut a little bit. Takes a little bit off.
Foul off the bat of Reagan Burford.
It's probably more of the speed change than anything right there. You're seeing 97, 98, and all of a sudden it just comes up there at 90. You're a little out front. Almost works like a changeup.
Foul back, 0-2. Up and in that time. Burford singled his first time. The 8 and 9 hitters, Burford and Smithwick, are 2 for 2. The rest of the lineup has only a couple hits, both in the 3 spot for Leger. Breaking ball's fouled back. So Snead last year at Wichita State, a 3.16 ERA in 24 outings. He only made 1 start. He had 3 saves. 1-2. Pulled foul. His numbers this year we talked about are even better. It's a 2.84 ERA with opponents hitting 237 against. But he allowed 4 runs last week against Alabama, and a lot of that damage came on the 3-run homer he allowed in the 8th. He has been very, very good in his 2 years of college baseball overall. And a 1-2. Softly hit in the hole. It's short on a couple of hops from Curley. Dug out by Burke, not in time. He almost stumbled a little bit, it looked like, making that throw.
Just too much speed right there. Ball's hitting the 6 hole. Everything was done properly. It's just too much speed down the line to make that play for the 6 hole.
We've seen a bunch of infield singles in this series.
You're right, partner. He lost his footing a little bit.
That's what I saw.
Released that ball.
I mean, we know how good an arm he has. It looked like when he was planting, he just couldn't quite get his feet into it.
Took a little of the velocity off the throw for sure.
Campbell Smithwick singled his first time, drove in the only Ole Miss run. 1-1. Well, again, Curley is a true freshman at short. We've seen him make some dazzling plays, and we've seen a couple of misplays out there too, but it's a Tennessee defense entering the weekend overall. They had been pretty solid, one of the better fielding teams in the SEC. That misses to Smithwick, and it's 2-1. Smithwick is a local kid out of Oxford High. It was the Mississippi 6A Player of the Year coming out of high school. That ball bounces away from the catcher Peebles. Not enough room for Burford to advance. Guy who hit .463 with a 1.469 OPS as a high school senior. That's pretty good. Former Mr. Baseball in 6A in Mississippi. Sneads 2-2. And he caught him. That is a filthy slider down into 89.
Almost a 90-mile-an-hour slider right there with depth. throwing 98 miles an hour with his fastball, and then he throws one of these up there.
Now batting the first baseman, number 20, Jackson Ross.
Nasty.
I mean, as a hitter, how do you identify that and lay off it? It is so tough.
Just takes experience and a lot of reps. And Smithwick being young, it's probably the best slider he's seen at this level so far. Off of 98 miles per hour fastball. You're geared up for that fastball, and then it's hard to lay off.
Top of the order in Jackson Ross, who is 0 for 2. He had that clutch double in the 9th yesterday to tie the game. More experienced hitters going against really tough sliders. What do you see them doing to be able to adjust and adapt to it?
Well, they just have a really quiet stride toward the pitcher. They're balanced, they're in control. And you'll see they're almost like falling asleep at the plate, even though they're facing 98 to 100 miles an hour. Whew.
That was a close snap throw to first base. Burt couldn't catch it. The tag looked pretty close to Burford diving back in.
He would have been out. I think he would have been out. If he makes the catch, if Burke makes the catch, he's out.
It's bang bang for sure. That's a tough play for a first baseman who's a lefty. He wears that glove on the right hand. You got to flip the tag. 2-1. That's hit out to deep right fields. Tears drifts back. Track. Wall. Goodbye. A 2-run homer for Jackson Ross. He goes yard for the 6th time this year. And Ole Miss not done yet. They're back within 4 at 7-3.
Ball is jumping out of here to right field. Elevated up in the zone, 96 miles per hour. You get it up in that jet stream. Great flat swing. The ball will go. See how the ball is above his belt? Hit anything to right field with backspin in the air, and you got a good chance for a home run.
4 home runs today, partner. All 4 of them to right. And we've seen 2 Oppo tacos now. I mean, that has been the situation all weekend long. Now, on Friday, when it was pouring rain for some of the game, Tennessee was shooting it out to left field a bit. The wind wasn't as substantial as just rain. This is a hard hit ball towards second. Moore was playing in shallow right. And he throws him out for the final out.
It's a problem.
Cannon Peebles takes low and in for ball 1. But I have learned a lot this weekend with you. It's been a blast. It's like a master class in the booth. How much do I owe you?
Well, that's what happens when you're around the game for a long time, and we always want to learn, right? I mean, you're always learning a new thing all the time. It was great talking to the players and the coaches this weekend and learning things from them.
Peebles takes outside. Second inning of relief for Wes Mendez. True freshman from Tampa came on and got the final couple outs of the 3rd, relieving Saunier. Big hack by Peebles and fouled it back. So he is a switch hitter who flips over to the right-hand side now to face the lefty Mendez. You can see his numbers on the season. He's a little bit better hitting righties. It's about 282 versus 270 righties versus lefties. So pretty similar.
You know, you talk about the game and learning. Been very blessed. Played for a Hall of Fame coach in college,
right.
Jim Ward, and then coached for 3 Hall of Famers as associate head coach in the ACC. So pretty awesome. When you have those guys every day in the office and you're sitting there talking, the best talks are on the bus. When you have the 7-hour, 10-hour bus ride. Used to be the 15-hour bus rides from Virginia to Florida State, stuff like that. You're sitting there talking baseball the whole time. And you're really learning a lot from, guys that have been around the game all their life.
Mike Bianco has been at it for 24 years at Ole Miss. We mentioned he's closing in on 1,000 wins. There's strike 3 called. Mendez gets his first punch out, 93 on the inside.
And you watch, that's exactly what we talked about after the break right there. That ball is thrown perfectly on the L, tight to the body. That's a very, very difficult pitch to even keep fair if you barrel it.
And championships they won when he was an assistant. And then you have a guy in Tony Vitello who, look, he's done a lot of winning too, but of course the one thing this program has not checked off is winning a national championship, and you figure they're closing in. They're not that far away from getting there. You got to get to Omaha first. They've done that consistently now over the last 3 years.
We got to be a little lucky, and when you get there, it's a whole new deal because you play, then you have a day off, then you play, then you have a day off, then you play. It's an interesting situation in Omaha. The more you're there, the better you get at it.
1-1, that's drilled out to left. Say goodbye to Curley again. Second home run of the weekend for him. The Vols just keep pouring it on. 10 home runs in the series. And they lead 8-3.
It's an off-speed pitch. Down in the zone, I believe. Let's take a look right here. Nope. Right down the middle. Right into Curley's bat. 109 mile per hour exit velo. We talked about the other day a 2-iron. We had a 1-iron. I think that's about a 3-iron.
I was going to say 3 or 4 in that mix.
Pull your 3-iron and hit a line drive out of here.
Pitch misses to Christian Moore. So 10 home runs on the weekend for Tennessee. Remember, they hit 5 on Friday, only 1 yesterday. They slacked off, and they've hit 4 more now in 3 1/3 innings of work here today. Christian Moore has accounted for 3 of those home runs over the weekends.
And you see immediately Mike Bianco trying to go back in and get tight to the body with the baseball on the location. That ball was out over the plate that was hit on an off-speed pitch. He's like, hey, let's just go fastballs in. Don't let these Tennessee hitters get extended.
Time called at the plate, and it was awarded.
Every time a Tennessee hitter has gotten extended.
2-1 is down and away. You know, it's interesting. The SEMO Hitmo sign is not there in left center today. Maybe they knew that the wind was drifting the other way and he was going to go oppo. It's interesting.
I don't see it anywhere
I
else.
thought maybe they would shift it over to right. 3-1, fouled away.
I thought they'd take our advice and move it back.
Well, that was part of what our thinking. Yeah, Curley hit one relatively close to where that sign is. Moore is at 37 career home runs now after his 2-run blast in the 3rd. That is tied for 5th in Tennessee history. And he tips it into the glove of Smithwick. Second strikeout of the inning for Mendez.
The first baseman, number 25.
Moore went backside for a home run. Last at bat, Mike Bianco making a decision to pound him in right there with 2 strikes. Did not want him to get extended. That's a good pitch on that L that we talk about.
So now Blake Burke. That is through the left side for a base hit. So he might not be hitting the long ball this weekend, but he's got 2 hits today. And he's got 4 hits in the series.
It's a nice job going backside for a big left-handed hitter. He'll have a short swing to the backside and get on top. Just a real professional approach to hitting.
Well, this is a guy who was highly talented at high school. He tied the freshman home run record with 14 as a freshman. He had 16 of them last year. But the average is the thing that Tony Vitello was telling us. It's improved so much because, you know, it felt at times like he was trying to do too much. He has really settled in. The consistency I think he's put together in his junior campaign has really stuck out.
No doubt.
I mean, you hit safely in 15 straight games. That's a day in, day out approach of hitting the ball to all fields, different pitchers, different arms.
It's that experience we talked about earlier. The more experience you have, and if you work at it, it will pay off.
And Tony Vitello was telling us he's putting less pressure on himself. You know, he came in he and Christian Moore, they didn't need to do a whole lot as freshmen in 2022. I mean, that team was so talented and so good. You look at the numbers on what they did winning, 57 games. And at times he would say, yeah, those two would press a little bit. 0-2 is upstairs.
Think about what you just said, 57 games.
Amazing.
You only play 56.
They only lost 9.
Regular season 56.
And the thing you would think about, yeah, you wouldn't think that would be a year where they would miss Omaha, but that's at the left center field off the bat of Amick. Down it goes, it splits the gap and rolls to the wall. Burke around third. They're waving him in. Relay throw from Hill, not in time. RBI double, Billy Amick. 9-3 lead for the Vols here in the rubber game on a Sunday in Knoxville.
We mentioned last AB for Billy Amick. He had a nice walk, a very, very well-deserved walk where he earned that walk. That set up this at-bat right here where he smokes the ball into the left center gap. Swings nice and quiet, simple through the middle of the field. That's when Billy Amick is at his best.
So Amick knocks in his 22nd run. It's his 6th double. That was only his 2nd hit of the weekends. Kavares Tears now.
That's what I was saying. I think the walk really was a good walk. It was sound. He looked like he was under control. He earned that walk, and it set up his next AB. Under control, short swing through the middle of the field.
Lefty on lefty here with Mendez and Tears. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Tears is 2 for 2 today. He has been the man for Tennessee in this series. 2 for 2 today. He's now 6 for 9 over the course of the 3 games with a couple of home runs, 4 driven in, and he has been outstanding. You can see the batting average up to 403. Again, a guy who only got to play in 29 games last year. He actually had a 18-game hitting streak that was snapped last weekend in Alabama. He has picked it back up in a big way this weekend.
He's been fabulous this weekend. He's got a quick bat, lots of power, simple swing.
It was interesting. Tony Vitello was telling us, he might look a little smaller, but he's actually stronger. He's made a lot of 2-strike adjustments. He pops that one up to left center fields. Groff drifts over and makes the catch. And the side is retired. But 10 runs for Tennessee in the bottom part of the 4th. They lead 9-3. Jack Benjamin and Coach Mo, Bobby Miranda with you. Rubber game here in Knoxville. Nate Snead deals to Ethan Leger, and it's gobbled up at third by Billy Amick. Wide throw, and the tag applied by Burke. Leger did his best dodge. They're trying to avoid the tag. You don't see that every day.
That's a little weird looking right there. It's like they're playing tag in the backyard right there when you're a little kid.
Another wide throw for this Tennessee infield. They've had a few balls get away from them these last couple days. Slow roller here on the bunts. And he's out at first base. Great play by Snead. Immediately Groff put his hands on his helmet saying to review. And it looks like Ole Miss will give it a look right away.
I thought he was out, but we'll take a look at it.
Definitely worth a look if you're Ole Miss. So you need base runners any way you can get them. Hard to tell on that one. Enough to overturn.
Right.
Yeah. I just think that's a tie goes to the runner situation, I would think. It's just right there. So they do overturn the call. Groff was a very good bunter.
Now batting right fielder.
Roth knew immediately something was up right there because he went right to the dugout and said, hey, challenge that.
Now, most guys do, regardless.
Right.
They're all going to say that they think they're safe, but he had a very good case. Ball one to Trayson Hughes. So Nate Snead trying to dial it back in for Tennessee. Two and 0.
Vols needing some length out of here from Snead.
2 strikeouts, no walks so far for him. He came in with 20 strikeouts and 11 walks. And that's in 25 1/3. You've talked about how talented he is. We know where he sits on the radar gun and the way he can run it in. When he gets himself into trouble, and you've seen him miss at times, what is it that's going on?
Big misses. But he's in the strike zone. He's getting it done. Just get behind in the count at times with some big misses. Like that right there.
It's tip of the arm side with him, correct?
Right, so just leaking his front side a little early, spinning out toward the first base line, and his arm will drag a little bit, not get to that release point. You want to release the ball out in front of your left eye if you're trying to get the full extension. Does that make sense? Try to get your hand out in front of your left eye if you're right-handed.
It does to me. 3-1.
Like he did right there.
That's drilled, and it goes foul.
See, if you release the ball in front of your, let's say, right ear, now the ball's going to be high arm side, big miss. If you get it out in front of your nose, maybe your left eye, you're going to get it out front with full extension. That's your mindset.
Payoff pitch to Hughes from Snead. Runner goes. Bouncer foul. And Groff will jog back to first base. We saw Ole Miss yesterday come from behind in the 9th. They were down 5-4. They won it 8-5. So they rallied for 4 ninth-inning runs. They're down 6 right now at 9-3. Another payoff. Runner goes again. And that is popped straight back. Peebles throws off the mask, and he won't be able to get to it. Lands in the crowd, and some concerned-looking fans over there.
Snead is 1.41 to 1.45 to the plate, so not quite as slow as the other night when Ole Miss was successful stealing some bags. Got to get a pretty good jump here to make it to second.
Well, Groff is their best base runner by steals. He's 9 for 9 this year. Another payoff pitch. Runner goes again. Foul ball again.
1.44 to the plate right there. Usually when they're doing a good job, you've got an A runner, which is a top runner. You want to be under 1.3, 1.2, something like that to the plate. So Roth will be safe with an average jump.
Infield single for Hughes his last time. He's 1 for 2. 10th pitch of the at-bat. And that is fouled back.
He'll be running right here.
A battle ensuing between Snead and Hughes. Another payoff. Runner goes again. Foul ball again. It's like Groundhog Day.
1.53 on that delivery.
I feel like an Olympic sport and a track meet's going on here in the booth. The way you're clicking with the timer up here.
The stopwatch.
Stopwatch.
Roth will be safe with that type of time. A 1.5, Roth will be safe at second.
12th pitch of the at-bat. Called strike 3. And Snead wins the battle with Hughes. Gets him looking for his 3rd strikeout, 2 away in the 5th.
Now watch this. It's the fastball in on that L we talked about in the booth. That's perfectly located, close to the body, hard to hit.
Impressive battle there, won by Nate Snead, a sophomore from South Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Gets a big second out, and now he deals with Luke Hill. Strike 1 at 95.
Kind of shocked that Roth did not run there. 3-2 count.
Well, he went on about 5 straight foul balls, and maybe he got tired. He goes now, swing and a miss. Peebles throw to second base, bounces off the glove of Moore, backed up well by Curley, and a stolen base for Groff. He's now 10 for 10 this year swiping.
And that was Snead's best delivery to the plate. He was 1.38 seconds. A little bit better throw, he might have had a shot. Usually a catcher's about 2-1 in game. So you add all that together, and a guy who can run like Roth is going to be safe.
Chopper toward third, that's a fair ball. Long throw from Amick is offline. Never really had a chance to set his feet. And Hill's a very good base runner. Now they're on the corners for Ole Miss with 2 outs in the 5th.
A lot of speed going down the line. Billy Amick knew that he needed to get rid of that ball as quickly as possible. Tried to use the turf to help the throw, just a little bit offline. Watch the ball just a little wide right there.
So they've had 10 hits today, Ole Miss has. 4 of them have been infield hits, either bunts, infield singles. And now Bo Gatlin with 2 outs. 96, 0-1. Gatlin, a senior from Oxford, another local kid, 2 years at the JUCO level at Meridian Community College in Mississippi. 0-1. There's that nasty slider at 88.
A lot of speed on the bases right here.
Big spot for Ole Miss. 6-run game. They've got 2 on with 2 outs.
I'm curious if Ole Miss tries to do something here with an 0-2 count.
Gatlin laid off that one.
What I mean is motion. If their base runners try to steal a run with the hitter down, 1-2 now.
Ole Miss today is 6 for 9 with 2 outs. They've been terrific. 1-2 from Snead. Got him! Another slider. A couple more Ks.
If you make a mistake out over the plate up in the zone, they'll make you pay. And usually the ball goes over the fence, which is the greatest play in baseball because you can't defend it. There's a wall in the way or a fence in the way.
Well, there was no defending against Dylan Dreiling the last time he was up in the 3rd, a 3-run homer. He takes in the dirt that time. So Dreiling, Villeneuve, Ensley, 5, 6, 7 for Tennessee, who have produced 9 runs on 9 hits, 4 of which have been home runs. Dreiling takes a strike, 1-2.
Baseball is such a game of power, especially in this era. Power on the mound. Okay, you see high velocity power and power at the plate. Both those things win when you control it in the strike zone.
92 on that fastball from Mendez, who's in his 3rd inning of relief. This was Dreiling last time up in the 3rd. A 3-run, no doubt about it, bomb. Yeah, it would have gone further had it not hit the light post.
That was knocked the light post over.
You were joking. You said it only went 413 feet. Part of that is because it got stopped as far as the length goes. The ball ended up landing in the bullpen. There are a bunch of cars parked out there in right center field that were legitimately in danger had it not hit the post.
The owners of those cars are very happy that it did.
2-2. Chopper left side. Andrew Fisher gobbles it up and throws out Dreiling for out number 1 in the 5th.
You know, we talked about owning the zone and why that's so important. You own the strike zone, but the secret sauce on that is power. You slug or you prevent slug. And power plays. When you strike people out, that plays. That's powerful, right? And when you hit home runs, that's powerful. And you do both those things in the strike zone well, you're going to win a lot of baseball games.
Robin Villeneuve takes outside for ball 1. To your point, Tennessee right now, the average entering today was at 322. On base percentage 432. The slugging number came in at 634. You can see what Villeneuve did in the first game of this series. He went 3 for 4 with a 3-run blast. He was 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts yesterday. Actually had his 7-game on base streak come to a close. Three 0 now.
The craziest stat is, they have over 60 home runs as a program now. 65, 66, 65. And they, coming into this series, they had given up in the teens in home runs. So there's a discrepancy between their opponent versus the home runs allowed. That's what we're talking about. They're preventing slug and getting slug. That's the secret sauce to winning baseball games.
That pitch misses down and in.
That's a good looking pitch.
And walked around by Villeneuve. There were a couple there that the Ole Miss dugout wasn't too happy about. Villeneuve is aboard for the first.
That up, and now he's just a pitcher. They call those POs, pitcher only.
Ensley tips it at home plate. You don't see as many two-way guys nowadays in college baseball, but there are some that do a pretty good job. One that always comes to mind for me, watching Florida's run last year, Jack Caglione and what he did.
Pretty talented.
Incredible from both sides of the fields. That's a sharply hit ground ball from Ensley towards the Ole Miss dugout.
I used to love two-way players. And a lot of people, they don't want to coach two-way players. It's too tough. You water down both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to coach those guys sometimes, but it's such a luxury if you do have an elite two-way player that can do it at both sides of the ball at a high level. We had a pretty good one back in the day at Georgia Tech, Matt Wieters.
He was pretty good.
Not bad. All-star catcher in the big leagues, played about 12 years in the big leagues.
0-2. That's a rocket into left field off the bat of Ensley. He's got his first hit today. And his third hit on the weekends.
Good swing to the pull side right there. Ensley's got some bat speed to the pull side. He likes getting the head out. This ball was supposed to be away. Left it kind of middle in. Ensley got the head out, just drove it in the 6-hole.
Well, we saw him yesterday in the second. He just hit a frozen rope to left. And that ball got out in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, that was our 1-iron. Remember that?
Right. That was the 1-iron. There was the 2-iron.
2 under center. And then we had a 3-iron today.
I think Tiers had one that was about a 2-iron, yeah. The time was called to the plate. Right as Morris was getting ready to deliver. First and second and 1 out for the Vols in the 5th. Ball 1 to Cannon Peebles. He is 0 for 2 today. It's a guy who you figure it's a matter of time before he starts rolling again with the bat. Last 11 games, he's only hitting about 172. But again, that's a guy who, over his first 11, hit better than 360. And last year at NC State, where he was a freshman All-American, he hit 352. 12 home runs. 2-0 from Morse. And now 3-0. So you mentioned Morris being a strike thrower. He's got to find the zone. 3-0. And that's not close either. 4-pitch walk to load the bases up for Dean Curley, who last time up went yard. We mentioned Tennessee's got 10 home runs this series. He had the latest back in the 4th, an inning ago, and that was a blast. Curley takes ball 1. And now you got to throw a strike. That's now 5 consecutive balls. After the Ensley single, Villeneuve was walked with 1 out to get the whole rally going. 1-0. There's a strike at 92.
This is something you don't see a lot of. I mean, he's thrown out of the windup with less than 2 outs. We have a double play in order, so you're able to get a huge lead right here. Maybe beat a ball to second.
1-1. He missed down low on off speed that time. Curley 1 for 5 this season with the bases loaded. 2 hits today and 2 at-bats. 2-1 in there for strike 2.
I mean, you look at, if I'm a runner at first base, look where the first baseman's playing for Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is thrown out of the windup. I'm going to get as far as I can possibly get, extend it, and still get back to the base on a line drive or a throw behind.
2-2. That's a rocket shot into right field, a base hit. Villeneuve scores. Inslee scores. And Peebles is up to third. Another hit for Curley. He's got a couple of singles sandwiched with a home run. He's driven in now 3. And Tennessee has an 11 spot. They lead 11-3.
That was 102 miles per hour off the bat. Smoked toward the foul line. First base for Ole Miss was playing so far off, he had to dive back toward the foul line to have any shot at that ball, and it just got hammered right by it. Looks like Mike's going to make another change right here.
He did strike out yesterday. Runners in the corners, still just 1 out in the 5th.
To your point, partner, the strength of the Ole Miss program is their bullpen, which is why this is so shocking. They're giving up so many runs this weekend.
Popped up. Right side, this is a long run for the infield. They were shifted over. And Ross, the first baseman, makes the catch in fair ground. 2-1.
Now batting the first baseman, number 25, Blake Burke.
That's a huge out right there. Really good fastball.
So now Blake Burke. On a weekend where Tennessee is doing what they usually do and mashing home runs. You'd figure this guy would have at least 1 of the 10. And he does not. He's still sitting on 38 career long balls. Ball 1. Now, I don't think he minds because he's seen the ball really well. He's spraying it to all fields. He's already got 2 hits today, showing the complete hitter that he is. His hitting streak has already advanced to 15 games. 1-0 from Nichols. It's at the knees for a strike. We mentioned Burke is in a tie for third with Todd Helton. Not far behind, right on his tail, Christian Moore just one back, who has hit 3 this weekend. Next on the list would be Evan Russell and then Luke Lipsius. His record of 40 is in jeopardy. Runner goes again. That's off the mask of the catcher, Smithwick.
You get a big out with Moore. Great pitch. Beat him with a very high spin rate fastball. Then you got to face this guy.
A little different.
Far from over.
Well, that's normally the beauty of a good bullpen. A lot of different looks you can give them.
Oh, I'm saying Burke.
Right.
Yeah.
1-2. That's up high. No throw from Smithwick to second base. And the point I'm making, and to your point, I think we're agreeing.
Right. We're agreeing.
Ole Miss has,
saying the same thing.
Ole Miss has so many different options they can go to, which
Correct.
is why typically they are so good.
No doubt.
It'll be a 2-2 from Nichols to Burke. Fouled it back.
Off-speed pitch right there. Just timing was a little off. Spoiled it. Fouled it off like the great hitters do.
He's .529 with runners in scoring position this year. 2-2. Fouled off again.
That's what they do. They spoil
Oh, nice catch.
good pitches. Yeah, very nice catch. The great ones spoil those 2-strike pitches. They grind out the at-bats, make the pitcher work. Just a tough out, competing in the box.
Burke fouls off another. And to your point, he's spoiling a lot of pretty good pitches.
Best play in baseball is a home run. You can't defend it. Second best play, a walk. Third best play, HBP. Fourth best play, 2-strike foul ball. The great ones do it all the time.
His strikeout rate as a freshman was more than 30%. It's down around 14% this year. 2-2. That's a great take. And now the count is full.
Now he's in that 3-ball count mode. We talked about it all weekend. 50% chance for the hitter to reach base. That means you're hitting 500. Would you take that?
I would.
That's why it's so important to foul balls off and work the count to 3 balls.
Payoff pitch. Another one spoiled.
Just so much more pressure on the pitcher right here with a 3-ball count versus a 2-ball count or a 1-ball count or a 0-ball count. You want to avoid these 3-ball counts at all cost.
A lengthy battle between Nichols and Burke. Another payoff. And that's inside. A terrific at-bat from Burke to draw a walk.
Outstanding battle, and that's what we talked about. He fouled the good pitches off, the tough pitches. And that's what a professional hitter does. A hitter at a high level, which he is. A very, very experienced elite hitter. One of the best ever in this program. That's how it looks. Got a little Billy Squire going right here.
I was going to say, they're into it here in Knoxville, and why not?
Saw Billy Squire in a concert in 1982. What a show.
Amick with the bases juiced and 2 outs. Ball 1.
Billy Squire and Rat, Jack. The band Rat and
I don't know.
Squire.
I don't know Rat.
Fantastic concert. Poplar Creek in the Chicago suburbs. Outdoor venue.
Amick takes ball 2.
His takes are so much better in this game than they were all weekend. He's quieter at the plate, seeing the ball better, looks more in control, more balanced, more athletic in the box.
Two-0 from Nichols. Drilled foul. He got it in on the hands. It went a long way, but only choice was to pull it foul.
The ball was hooked to downtown Knoxville.
Had it headed back towards Oxford.
Might be an I-40 over there.
You can see what Amick has done this season. On a 2-1. That's in there for strike 2.
Crowd didn't like that.
Amick is 1 of 3 this year with the bases loaded. In his 3 years of college baseball, 2 at Clemson and now 1 at Tennessee. Does not have a grand slam. Preseason All-American. Fouls it away.
Good hitting right there. Let the ball get deep. Spoiling a good pitch.
He had 13 homers at Clemson last year in 46 games. He's playing in game 25 today with Tennessee. He's sitting on 9 long balls. Peebles at third, Curley at second, Burke at first. Bases juice, 2-2 and 2 down in the 5th. And Nichols deals. Just missed outside.
Wow. How do you take that pitch? That's close. Oh, it was a little bit off. Smith had to move a little bit to reach and catch it. Here's that 3-ball count again.
Crowd's into it. Payoff pitch. Sent out to deep left fields. Back it goes. Track, wall, gone. First career grand slam for Billy Amick. The 5th salami for Tennessee this year. Their 5th home run today. And they've blown it wide open. 15-3 in the 5th.
We talked about Billy Amick seeing the ball better today, quieter on his stride, fouling pitches off to the backside, got it to the 3-ball count, got a pitch up in the strike zone, and absolutely hammered this. Upper deck, majestic bomb. Look at that. It's up, it's an off-speed pitch, and Billy Amick deposited it. 104 miles per hour exit speed. Way out of here.
The TrackMan didn't get to register the distance. Went too far. That one was absolutely smoked. His 10th home run of 2024.
Well, that was textbook right there. I talked about his stride. He was more athletic. He looked like he was under control. That walk set this all up for him. The double, now the grand slam. He had that nice, earned, quiet at-bat walk, professional at walk 3 at-bats ago. And then he fouled a pitch off to the backside, took a borderline pitch to get to a 3-ball count, and those 3-ball counts are hitter advantage counts. We talk about that all the time. Saw a hanging pitch with 2 strikes, and boy, made Old Miss pay right there.
That's a hard hit ball past the shift from Tears. It hit off the glove of Burford. He got it through those 3 infielders on the right side. And he has himself another hit in the series. That's number 6.
Have a weekend.
Unbelievable. Tennessee has batted around officially in the 5th. Mike Bianco's getting his steps in.
Ball slider guy right here. Velo is 90 to 98 miles an hour. A wide range on his fastball. Can run it up to 98. That pitch right there was at 94.
Second at bat of the inning for Dylan Dreiling. You think about it, he started this inning with a ground out to 3rd. That feels like it was a year ago, because since that point, Tennessee has put 6 runs on the board on 4 hits, including the grand slam moments ago by Amick. Strike 2.
It's been the definition of a big inning, that's for sure.
They've had a bunch of those over the course of the season. They have had a number of offensive outbursts in what has been a huge offensive year. Fouled away.
Tennessee offense gets firing. I mean, they can strike quick. You put a couple guys on, and then it's a 3-run bomb, and before you know it, another guy hits a bomb, and you're down 4, 5, 6, 7 quickly.
Well, Dreiling went yard with a 3-run shot in the 3rd. That was the 3rd of 5 Tennessee home runs today. They have scored now 15 runs 8 times in 25 games this season. So a third of the time. 2-2 is upstairs. They've already had 7 run roll victories, including Friday. They're looking for number 8. Again, this Vols team has never lost an SEC home opening series under Tony Vitello. Payoff pitch. Bouncer right side, gloved by Ross. He'll flip it onto a covering Jones, and the side finally retired. Left. Their 5th home run today, their 11th of the series. They've hit 66 home runs now, partner, in 25 games in 2024.
Their offense on Friday and Sunday has been just amazing, right? Man.
There's a strike.
This was our score on Friday, 15-3, right?
It was.
Yeah.
15-3, a run roll win for Tennessee in 7 innings. Pitch misses from Nate Snead. He made one mistake. He allowed the 2-run homer to Jackson Ross in the 4th. Faces Reagan Burford here to start off the 6th. And for the most part, he's been very good. That's a spot he wanted and the crowd wanted, and missed outside. Sechrist opened, went 2 1/3, allowed 1 run. Snead deals, fouled back.
You know, partner, you mentioned these run rules. Rich Vitella, he doesn't really like the run rule. He thinks it inhibits the development of the younger players.
2-2, caught on and missed. He pulled the string in a big way that time. And that is strikeout number 5 for Snead.
Nice breaking ball below the zone. Chase breaking ball. When you throw in mid-90s and you throw that up there at 85 miles an hour, watch the depth on this pitch. Hard to hit when it's in the dirt like that. Well, actually, the turf.
I've been saying dirt too. Smithwick cuts and misses. Hard to get accustomed to saying turf, even though there are so many more fields these days that are made of turf. Of course, this is one of the great ballparks in the country. And another swing and a miss from Smithwick, and it's 0-2.
I really like the turf at the college level, the college game. The field's always perfect, year-round.
Snead deals, slowing in.
Play games through weather.
Like we had on Friday with the rain.
You can get your games in. Just much more conducive to the college game.
1-2. Just missed on the outside corner.
In the big league game, you've got your field crews, a year-round deal. The field's always immaculate. The college game, a little more limited on the crew.
Well, that was
you want the field to look great in the summer when recruits are coming by.
Right.
And instead of killing off the Bermuda grass in the south, it always looks perfect.
It was such a huge story in the regionals last year, and even the supers too. 2-2 is fouled away. I say that because there was so much weather involved. Now, a lot of that last year was lightning delays and things of that sort, but there were so many regionals that were postponed and move days and whatnot. Would have been worse if not for a lot of the turf fields. Another 2-2. Smithwick stays alive.
Smithwick putting up a good fight. Looks similar to his dad, Austin Smithwick, who played at Western Carolina University. Great player in Western Carolina. And he's a great high school coach, obviously teaching his son how to battle with 2 strikes.
He takes strike 3 there from Snead, who is locked in. He has struck out 4 of the last 5 he has faced. He's got 6 strikeouts on the game.
Well, just a perfectly painted pitch on the outer half right there.
And now Jackson Ross. Ross is the only guy to get a hit off Snead on a ball that has actually traveled out of the infield. Because the other 3, it's a bunt and 2 infield singles.
Wow.
He's a good-looking player, Jackson Ross. We mentioned he was at Florida Atlantic for 2 years, where he was first-team All-Conference USA. D1 Baseball had him as one of the top transfers in the country coming in, and he's lived up to that and then some for Ole Miss. Strike 2. Now Snead trying to get some revenge. Snead's already got a new career high with 6 Ks.
He is in a rhythm right now.
Trying to strike out the side in the 6th. It'll be a 1-2 to Ross. Popped up, foul grounds, and that will land at a play and a near catch. The crowd here has made some nice catches all weekends.
Pretty athletic crowd.
It is. I'll tell you what, they know their baseball around here in Knoxville. They've experienced a lot of huge games. I think you got a lot of former baseball players and alums in the crowd too who have pretty good hands. Another 1-2 from Snead to Ross. Chopper to short. Curley is there. And a 1-2-3 inning.
Bad pitch up in the strike zone makes Ole Miss pay.
Ethan Payne is the pinch hitter here for Tennessee. 6, 7, 8 in the order up against Braden Jones. 0-2. Ethan Payne is a 5th-year grad student. He's a Memphis native. He already has his bachelor's in management from the College of Business. That was last May. He's pursuing a master's in recreation and sport management. Takes strike 3 from Jones. And records his first strikeout.
Now batting the center fielder, number 9, Hunter Ensley.
So now Hunter Ensley. And the high for Tennessee, home runs in a game, if you're curious, is 6. That was against Kansas State March 5th. That was a 15-5 win. And we've talked a lot today about Curley and what he's been able to do this year. That was the game where he hit 3 home runs. Remember, he's only a true freshman. He's putting up some historic home run numbers. Ensley, of course, had a great day yesterday. Two one. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Ensley has hit 3 home runs this season. All 3 have come in the last 7 games. And he looks at strike 3. That's 97 painted on the inside corner. That's impressive stuff from Braden Jones.
It's a pretty good fastball right there.
Now batting the catcher, number 5, Cannon Peeble.
Perfectly located on that L, in, just frozen.
Tell you what, he's come on and done a pretty nice job. The infield was still shifting mid-pitch there for Cannon Peebles, who looks at ball 1.
We talked about his velocity getting up to 98 miles an hour. He was 97 right there located.
Peebles pops it into shallow left. Leger long run, and he makes the catch with the hat flying off. And a very quick 1-2-3. Faces Andrew Fisher, who bounces one up the middle. They were shifted for him there. And Curley with a can of corn for out number 1.
Well, when you're throwing 96 to 98, 90 mile an hour slider, and you're throwing strikes, he has 0 walks, 3 2/3. That's a pretty good recipe for success. Take that talent and throw it in the strike zone.
Your attention, please.
Tennessee and Ole Miss don't match up every year, but Tennessee has dominated the head-to-head series of late. They're looking to take their 3rd straight series head-to-head. Foul ball off the bat of John Kramer, who pinch hits.
Yeah, Tennessee is 2 outs away from winning this game.
Again, run rule is in play. And in the Tony Vitello era, they have not lost an SEC home opening series. 5-0. The loss yesterday was only the 2nd time they've lost a game when playing an SEC home opening series.
Wow. Looks like a pretty good pitch. 96 in.
2-1. That's up and away at 96. Kramer's a junior from Wildwood, Missouri. He's 0 for 6 on the season. Does have an RBI. Came against Iowa in early March. He hits that one sharply. Gobbled up at second base by Moore. And there's 2 down, and Tennessee 1 out away from a run rule victory for the 2nd time in 3 games and a series win. So Nate Snead trying to finish off the final out. It's Judd Utermark pinch hitting for Ole Miss. Snead's in line for a 5th win as he deals strike 1. Utermark hit a home run on February 21st versus Arkansas State. And he drills one here out to left fields. That is number 2. Utermark goes yard for the 2nd time this year. And the 4th time in his Ole Miss career. The Rebels with a long ball, and they tack on one more.
Off-speed pitch. Hit out front, hit a long way. You get an opportunity to get in there, make the best of it. Out over the plate, got extended. See it right at the belt. Ball was hit a long way.
410 feet.
.6 miles per hour off the barrel.
Trayson Hughes pops it up right side. This should do it. Blake Burke calls off Moore, makes the catch. And the Vols